everybody. So today I'm going to be taking on the fun task of replacing the strings on an acoustic guitar. Now, if you play acoustic guitar, this is something that eventually I imagine you'll have to do. I don't predict anybody doing this, just paying somebody to take off the strings forever. I mean, I guess if you have the funds to do that, whatever, sure, why not? Go for it. But I always enjoy doing it myself. Now we're going to be using a couple tools here. Mostly we are going to be using this D'Addario string winder / peg remover / string cutter. It has a bunch of purposes. Very useful device, and I will link the actual Amazon affiliates page in the description of this video. But it's got a couple of useful little tools. One of such being this peg remover. And I'll go into detail about how that works in a second. Let's start with step 1. We are going to remove the strings. Now, there are a couple different ways to do this, but mostly we are going to go up to the top here and just untwist the strings, like so. Now, once again, there's a few ways we can do this. There's the long way of slowly unwinding all the strings. Eventually you get to the point where you could just kind of pull it off. And then do. There you go. Or, if you want to save some time and you don't want to preserve the strings, we could just clip them off at the top here. So boom, 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 and boom. There we go. Now there are a couple more steps to take, but let's get on to the next part, just so we can hurry this up. Now, actually removing these pegs, there are a couple ways we can do this. One of the ways I like to do, before we had any tools, I would simply lift this up. You kind of want to angle it towards this area so you can get under the pegs. Once you get to a certain point, you'll actually be able to lift the peg up. And there you go. Pretty easy, pretty simple. Now the string is completely out of the guitar. However, if you do have this peg remover tool right here, you'll notice this little section. All we got to do is hook it on to the actual pegs, twist up, and pull up, like so. You didn't see that very well. Let me re-angle this. Now then, if we just take our tool right here, we can angle it right about here, place it over the actual pegs, and just pull. And there you go. And that will remove all of the pegs from your guitar. Now, I prefer using this tool. Once again, if you don't have one of these, you can simply take your string, angle it towards the center of it, push towards it. Sometimes this is a little more difficult to do. And just pull up your actual peg. Once again, this doesn't always go as easily as it does with the actual peg remover tool. So if I use the tool, it's just going to be a simple do and pull. There we go. Now all the strings are out of the guitar. There's nothing there. Now before I like to put on new strings, I will normally take the time to actually clean the frets. This is a perfect time to. If you could see up close to the frets, this is actually like grime from my fingers. Now it's good to look up what specifically you are going to use to clean fretboards. Certain fretboards require certain material, certain fretboards do not like having anything against them. I am just going to use a microfiber cloth at this time to remove some of this grime before I add on more strings. So give me 1 second while I get this ready. Alright, so step 2, I'm going to take the time to actually scrub down some of the grime that is located inside the neck of the guitar. If you look, there is just a little bit building up at certain spots, and that's just because I play quite a bit. Now, in order to clean it off, I'm just going to take a microfiber cloth, like so. These are real cheap. You can get them for like $5, $1. I'm going to take it, and then I normally just use a little bit of water. And then we're just going to rub the areas down, try to scrape off some of that grime that's built up there. And this just takes a little bit of elbow grease, a little bit of physical work. If you look at the cloth, I'm already getting quite a bit of dirt up, which kind of leads me to believe maybe I should have done this sooner. Now, I normally just go through and do this to each fret. And you can already start to see some of this grime, well, especially build up on my cloth. Now, a good thing about microfiber cloths are they're pretty easy to wash. You kind of just toss them in the washer with everything else. They're also great for wiping down guitars. And they help clean glasses, if you wear glasses. You know what, I'll leave a Amazon affiliates link in the description for this item as well. If you happen to want one of these items and you feel like giving me a tiny amount of money, it would be a great help. I personally love them. Now, since this video is mostly about changing the strings of your guitar, I'm just going to fast forward past this and clean this on my own. You guys should get the process. Pretty much I'm just taking my cloth, dipping it in a little bit of water, rubbing the area I want to get clean, and using a little bit of force so I can remove some of this grime. Now, this is probably going to be the longest part of the actual cleaning process, or the string changing process. And once again, you don't have to do this if you don't want to. It's just something I like to do. But when you do take the time to actually clean the frets, you'll notice it plays just a little nicer. You'll notice it feels a little less dirty. A little less grimy. You might get rid of some of the stains that have built up. Naturally, after you play a guitar for years and years, though, eventually stains will start to build in the fretboard. And it gives it a nice little characteristic. Anyway, pausing here. Next time we'll be back, we'll be putting the strings back on this baby. And we're back, and if we look at the guitar, it looks so much better. That honestly didn't take me very long. I was done, I don't know, 10 minutes in. Now we're on to our last step. We're going to take a new set of strings and actually put it inside or on the guitar, well, in the guitar. We're going to string up the guitar. Those are the words I'm looking for. Here we go. A lot of the time it'll tell you which string goes where. For example, the first string, second string, third string, fourth string. I could do a video talking about strings if people really want me to, but I hope you would know what strings are. Though, if you don't, feel free to ask. No shame. Now, I'm going to start with our high E string, which according to this is our silver tipped one. If it focuses, focus. There we go. Silver. Yeah. Now, if we focus on the bridge here, assuming nothing falls out or off or weird, there we go. Putting the strings back in is a pretty easy task. We take our peg, like so, and we're just going to place it through. You'll notice there's like a slide part looking for your peg. there's one part with a divot or a slide. This divot is where your actual string is going to catch onto, like so. Next, I'm going to pull it all the way up to the head of the guitar. And we're going to wind it in. Now, everybody has their own way of winding their strings. However, you always want to have the actual string part going towards the center. So, if you can see here, this is going towards the actual areas here. In other words, these go inward, and these go inward as well. You don't want it to wrap the other way around. Now then, we have our string. I'm going to begin winding it. Basically, I like to just twist. You want to have a little bit of slack. Now I'm going to have the string actually get caught around this top portion here. And then I'm going to tighten my grip and allow the string to get caught by the bottom portion. This creates a nice little knot in the string. So I can go through and twist it until it becomes nice and tight. Now I normally wait until I get all the strings on before I start fine-tuning it, just out of habit. I have another guitar that, well, if you have a guitar that's electric and it has like a floating bridge, unfortunately all the strings will go out of tune by the time you start tuning up. So if you don't have them all on at once, it won't even tune. Fun little aside. Now then, you can take the time to twist and turn and all this fun stuff. Or, if we have our string winder tool, we can just toss it on here and wind like a crazy person. Now you want to make sure you're turning it the right way. And once again, that way is the way that will twist it towards the center. And this is already starting to make sound. Or sound like an actual guitar. Last thing I like to do is trim off the clip here. And just as close as I can safely. Now, I don't know how well this camera's going to focus, but let's find out. The string itself is wound. This is the way I like to do it. Just kind of this going inwards, this wrapping around, and then the actual top part of the string is caught with one loop going over the top. Now I'm going to take the time to restring the rest of the strings real quick, and then I'll give you guys one more little instance of what's happening. And we are all done. The pegs are back in place. The new strings are on. And then once again, if you notice the actual things, the strings are all going towards the center. It's very important that they wrap this way, otherwise they will not stay in tune. They could slip out of tune, they could break, all kinds of fun stuff. And then I normally, once again, like to catch the actual tip after you take the top layer and run over it once. Now, we just need to tune it. Luckily, this guitar comes with a tuner. I only play in drop G. Anyway, I hope all of you know how to tune. Otherwise, we have several fun apps. I could do a video on tuning another time. But that's how you put new strings on an acoustic guitar. And thank you so much for joining me. I hope this was helpful to some of you who have never done this before. I have spent quite a few hours just changing strings. It's honestly kind of soothing to me. I enjoy it. I enjoy strings. I enjoy cleaning the actual neck. It's just relaxing. Anyway, if you like this video, be sure to subscribe, like, all of those good things. Smash, hit, slap, like, all those words. Hopefully I'll see you again. And once again, if you wanted to use any of the products I used today, such as the strings, the winder, that was part of the strings, or the actual microfiber cloth, which I will now need to wash because it did get decently dirty. Yum. I will link all of those in the description through my Amazon affiliates link. Hopefully see you all again soon. I'll try to post new videos every Tuesday moving forward for this year. That's the goal. If I don't hold myself to it, somebody yell. It's alright, I understand. See you soon!